Can the U.S. become energy independent?
Well, I think more so now than ever before. So that's the one thing it is a maybe. Well, I think it's a maybe because there's a couple of big questions in getting to that answer. But if you look at the amount of natural gas that's been found in North America, let's say, and maybe let me ask you, would you allow me to say energy independent basically means in North America as opposed to just the U.S.? So if you take
I'll allow you to do whatever you want to do,
so
Marvin.
if you take North America as your energy supply, you can actually make a case that you could get to a point of being energy independent. Now, I'm not sure that's where we want to go or that that's what makes the most economic sense or so forth.
But why not? Why would we not?
Because we may find that there are resources from other countries that are easily accessible, that are secure, that we still want to take advantage of because maybe that lowers the overall cost of energy. So that's just something to keep in the back of your mind. But in terms of shifting from where we've been in the past and where we are today, of not being happy necessarily with where our energy comes from, and having a national policy and a mindset that says, we want to do two things. First of all, we're going to use this much oil and gas over the next couple of decades, no matter what we do or what we decide in terms of the long-term energy mix. So let's produce that at home rather than produce it somewhere else. And we could do that if we wanted to do that. The other part of that policy has to be, where do we want to go with the long-term energy mix? How do we ensure technology investment into technology around renewables and other sources of energy so that we're ready for the next stage?
Now, you export liquid natural gas, correct?
Well, all over the world we do, but not out of the U.S. So this is one of the sort of the current questions of government policy is, will we be in a position and will the U.S. want to export liquefied natural gas?
What's Shell's position on that?
So we think it makes sense to do so, and not in a big way. But let me just lay out the sort of the parameters behind it. There's so much natural gas that's been found in North America that there's plenty of resource there to support both supplying the domestic market and a very much a growing domestic market, as well as an export market. And if you look at the numbers, you would even say, I would say, and I think you would find that you can export a fairly significant amount. I don't want to talk in technical terms because I don't know how much sense that would make to everyone, but on the order of 20 million tons per annum. It's a lot of
20 million
million tons per annum of liquefied natural gas. So it's a lot of natural gas. You could export at a level like that without impacting in any significant way the price of natural gas in the U.S. So the question comes down to, in the end, are we a free market society? We have free trade agreements with a lot of different companies, and are we going to treat energy different than we treat other elements in our market agreements? Which is a slippery slope to a degree if we start doing that. We're complaining about other countries doing that now, of course, with minerals and such things.
Wait, so Shell's position, though, is that we are a free market and that the market should determine the amount of natural gas that would be exported, and not a government policy from on high that says, no, you can't do 20 million tons, you can only do 5 million tons.
No, actually, I personally believe there is a government overlay on this that says, what is our energy policy, and what do LNG exports, how does that impact this policy? And I think in that context of a country that wants to be largely self-supplied and wants secure supplies of energy, the answer is still going to be a certain amount of exports will make sense. And when you export that, what you get then as a country is you get a trade balance, which has been incredibly negative for the U.S. for a number of years as we've imported all this energy into the country. You get a trade balance benefit, which strengthens our economy. You get the jobs and the domestic investment and so forth and the infrastructure required to do that. So those are some of the benefits.